Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making tutorial. Today we're going to be making a lovely floral birthday card, and this is the card we're making here. It just says happy birthday wishes, and you can see we've got this lovely little floral cluster here in the corner. So let me show you how I made it. We're going to do stamp the floral cluster to start off with, and the stamps that we're going to use is this one called Pretty Florals. And sorry about the glare, I can't help it really, it's not easy. It's a very grey day today in Lincoln, and so it is what it is, unfortunately. We're going to be stamping this florals here. It's a two-step stamping, so we're going to start off with the base, and then we're going to move on to the detail, and then we're going to stamp the foliage. Okay, so I've got things set up on my stamping tool here. I'm going to start off with our lightest colour, which this time is going to be Bubble Bath. Keep on wanting to say bubble gum, but it's Bubble Bath. So we're going to just stamp this. Yeah, that seems fine. One more for luck. Yeah, perfect. Right, so that's the end of Bubble Bath. Let's give this all a little clean up so we can take it out of our stamping tool. I'm just going to use the simple chamois, one of my favourite ways to clean my stamps. Right, and I'll just leave that there. Bring in our stamp set. I'm going to take these out. They're nice and sticky, which is always a good thing. Yeah. There we go, and the last one. And then I'm going to bring in our three layering bits, which are these ones here. Okay, and the best way to do this is just to get straight over your stamp, so you can see immediately where things are meant to go. And because it is a photopolymer stamp, you can see straight through the stamp, so you can see roughly where things are meant to be. I think looks okay like that. We'll hope for the best. If not, cardstock has two sides for a reason. That is for me to make a mess. And this time we're going to stamp in Berry Burst. But that looks good to me. Just give it a bit of a press down there. Yeah, that looks good enough to me. Where's that cleaning thing? But I've definitely made a mess here. Right. Let's put these back in their little home. And then, while I've got the Berry Burst ink out, I'm going to stamp my sentiment as well, which is this one, Happy Birthday Wishes. So let's just stamp that around there. Perfect. So now we're done with the Berry Burst ink as well. And give this a clean, and then we're just going to stamp our foliage. So let's put this back into its little home here, encircled with love. I love these. They're such useful little images. And then we're going to go back to Pretty Florals, and we're going to stamp our two pieces of foliage. So I've got those stems and that one there, and we're going to stamp these in Old Olive ink. So let's just pick these up. and tap, 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 tap. Make sure everything is nicely inked up. Looks like it. Down. Give it a bit of a press. Perfect. Close that up before I stick myself in it. And let's give this a little clean, and then we'll be ready to cut all of this out. So let's clear the decks, I think. Take this out. I'm a great believer in tidying up as you go along, as you know, and putting things away. Then you don't have any orphaned stamps, which is something I hate. It so annoys me when I have a stamp and I can't figure out where it's got to go. So right, so let's cut this out a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is just separate the sentiment from the rest of everything else. And then I'm going to use some punches with my sentiment. Let me see which punches I've got. I think I need to bring one up, but I'll show you here anyway. Let me see. I am going to use this one, the 2 3/8 with my bubble bath, and then I'm going to get the 1 7/8 and I'm going to punch that out, and I'm going to cut all of these out here using these matching Pretty Floral dies, and once I've got all of that sorted, I'll see you. Okay, so we've cut everything out now, and we can stick everything down. Now, I wanted to see if I liked this better. This is the 2-inch punch out of bubble bath, or the 2 3/8, and I think I'm actually going to go back with the 2 3/8. This is just a bit too narrow, so I'm going to go with that one instead. So let's stick this down. It just gives a much bigger border, which I quite like. If it was if there was more of a contrast between the bubble bath and the white, I would have used this smaller border. Right, let's bring in our card base. Our card base is Berry Burst, and I've got 2 pieces here of basic white cardstock. Now the measurements for these will be on the blog post, so don't worry about that. Let me see which ones I want. This is going to go on the front here. And the other piece I think I need to cut down. It's a bit too big. So I'm just going to get my trimmer. No, this is not ideal because I will get glue on my trimmer, but life is what life is. And I need to make sure this measures the right measurements, which it does now. There we go. And it's got to measure 10 the other way. So my blade keeps wanting to jump out of my track. I'm not sure why. Wasn't doing it yesterday, but today it just seems to have decided that this is a new trick and it's enjoying it. Very annoying, I can tell you that. So let's stick this piece on the inside. And I've stuck it. Yeah, that's right. Let's stick it on the inside. Right. And then I have a piece again here of the bubble bath. Of the Berry Burst Designer Series paper, and this is just the normal family packs, as I call them. 6x6 Regals pack, and you will find it in there. Let's stick that down like that, and then let's pop this one up here on some dimensionals. Of course, my hands are now covered in glue, so they want to stick to me rather. Oh dear. So let's put that down in the centre somewhere like that. That's lovely. And now we're just going to tuck in our florals. So let's see again, maybe here. I quite liked it there, so I'm going to see if this fine tip glue of mine is going to work today. I don't have much luck with fine tip glue pens, I don't know why. Go back to tried and tested method. I have to be very careful with my Tombow because I can be a bit too heavy. You don't want much glue. That'll do. So I'm just going to have it peeking at the top there, I think. And then I can decide on my florals. I've got more than I need. I think I'm going to have it this time, this one. So let's look at that. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, but that's me. However hard I try, glue gets everywhere with me. And I hate it. That's so annoying. There we go. Isn't that cute? Oh, I like that. And then let's see if we want to have glue. If we want to have another floral anywhere else. Well, it just looks weird. I think we'll save those other ones for another day. I think 3 is going to be enough. So let's clear the decks. So last time I used some rhinestones. I don't know if I've got any rhinestones with me today. Let me have a look and see if I can find any. Yes, I do. Here they are. Lovely jubbly. Right. Let's put a few here. Into our flower. Maybe a larger one up here. I think that's enough. 3 of them. So there are our 2 happy birthday cards featuring the Pretty Florals Stampin' Dies from Stampin' Up. I hope you've enjoyed this card making birthday card tutorial. If you have, I'd be grateful if you could give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, you'll find links to all the products I've used, as well as the links to my blog post and everything else in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.